see my board. Even though you're in a group, I want to make sure you can still see me up here. Everybody can? Thumbs up? You can see? All right. Well, what you need to do then is maybe scoot y'all's desk up so you can see up here. You don't necessarily have to see me. I want you to see the board. All right. Did Principal Carter have good evidence that band t-shirts will be disrupted?
No.
So let's review. First of all, what has happened? What happened to Ben?
He got suspended.
What? Luke's talking what?
He got suspended for wearing a band.
He got suspended for wearing a what?
Band t-shirt.
A band t-shirt. Was that the rule?
Yeah.
What was the rule?
No t-shirts that have music or any other
Band on it, right?
band.
Okay, was prohibited. Okay, so we're going to pick apart, basically investigate, critically think the following exhibits and witness testimonies. Look for anything that would answer this question yes, and anything that would answer the question no. Think about things that happened as well as things that did not happen. Let me see what this thing says. Okay, so that's Exhibit A. The reason why I gave you copies of the exhibits and the testimonies so you can follow along. I think I even gave you the transcript of some of the witnesses, because some of it you'll see on video, but you can follow along on your paper. So the reader, be sure you keep up, share with your partner what you're reading, and writer, look at the very back of your packet. You'll see a tablet, and I hope I didn't put the teacher copy. Okay, whew. I did that last time. Okay, so you should have 2 sheets with 2 columns each on it. Do you?
Yes.
What does the first column say? Chloe, tell me what that says right there.
Evidence that band t-shirts do cause disruption.
Okay, evidence that band t-shirts do cause disruption. What's the other one? What's the other column? Yes, Luke.
Evidence that band t-shirts do not cause disruption.
Do not cause disruption. Okay, so that's the does not argument we're about to make here. Okay? All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. Here's Exhibit A. Who wants to read this to us? This is a memo sent out. Garrett. You can read it on your paper if it's easier.
Hamilton Middle School students and parents from Bob Carter, principal. Hamilton Middle School new t-shirt policy. Last year, many teachers saw students arguing about different kinds of music. Most of these arguments were caused by t-shirts that displayed a musical group. A few of the arguments were heated, and one even delayed the start of class until the teacher stepped in to stop the discussion. As a result, students may no longer wear clothing that refers to a musical group. This includes band t-shirts. The purpose of the new t-shirt rule is to make sure the learning environment in our school is safe and effective. We hope the new dress code policy will prevent more serious arguments or fights from breaking out in our schools.
Okay, so who is this to?
Hamilton.
And parents. So everybody knows about it, right? Okay, who's it from?
Bob.
The boss, right? He's the boss. He's the one that had this put in place. Okay, so with this memo, let's discuss, where do you think this would go? Would this support the rule or not? It does not argument. So what's the first column say? Read that again, Chloe.
Evidence that band t-shirts do cause disruption.
So where would that memo go? Would it go in what column? Y'all discuss it. 1 minute. I'll time you. 1 minute, y'all discuss what column.
Do cause disruption or do not?
Yeah, that's here to determine that.
Evidence that band t-shirts don't cause disruption.
Just discuss it. Don't write anything.
And they
chance to discuss it in your group. According to this memo, what evidence did Principal Carter have that band t-shirts caused problems? Remember from yesterday?
That people were like arguing over whether they did, like whether they did good or bad.
They caused disruption in class. I think I remember something like that. Remember that? Yes.
Their arguments are starting about which band is better.
Arguments about which band is better. Good. Go ahead, Luke.
Like, what if like someone had a clarinet on their shirt, then someone else had a guitar on their shirt, and like clarinets.
Yeah, it would cause them. Yeah, right. Got a good one. Did any of the problems disrupt school in any way?
Yeah.
Like what? Can y'all remember one example?
Delaying the start of a class.
Delaying the start of a class, Logan. Very good. That's right. All right. Exhibit B. So what I want, wait a second, let's back up. This is where I forgot to write. You're going to write what you just said out loud. Was any of those issues discussed in your group? Raise your thumbs up if you discussed some of those issues from yesterday in your group. Good. Now all I want you to do, the writer, those are spelling words. That's not the answer. All I want you to do is the writer, get the paper, look at your evidence, see where it says Exhibit A, the memo, right here. Don't look too close. That's my answer. You're going to write down the things that you said. What did you just get through saying, Logan?
That one he did the same delayed start of a class.
Delayed the start of the class. So you're just going to write. It doesn't have to be complete sentences.
So delayed start of class.
Yes.
And how many do we have to have?
You're going to just write a couple.
And do
2 or 3.
Both seconds.
Where does it support it though? Does it support that it does cause disruption or it does not? The memo. Think about why he had to write that memo. I think I heard delayed start of class needs to be written down. I think everybody should have that one. And what's another one that I heard you guys open discuss in class?
Arguments could be started because one person has a different opinion about the band on the t-shirt.
Yes, yes. And a few of them, did they say it started to add up or?
Yes.
You know, the arguments were
Yeah,
heated?
like that.
Okay. Were heated, yes. When you're finished writing, look at Exhibit B. An intercepted note, what does that mean? Anybody want to guess that? Guess what that means, Gracie?
That means the teacher caught the student passing the note,
Uh-huh.
so she read it.
So she got it and read it, and this is what it said. Chloe, you tell us what it said?
Your part.
No, well, read the whole thing. Start up here and enunciate and read it like maybe you were saying it. It'll make it sound good. Yes.
Sarah, your punk frog t-shirt is stupid. Everyone hates punk frogs. You better watch out after gym class.
Alyssa. So your punk frog t-shirt is stupid. Everyone hates punk frogs. You better watch out after class. So does this now give Principal Carter a reason to believe band t-shirts will cause problems? Yes? Because it's a what?
It's a
Threat.
No.
That's the word I was looking for. Threat. From yesterday. Remember, any type of threat or violence is what it said. You guys are doing good. All right, so where would we put, I'm going to give you 1 minute to discuss and write down for Exhibit B, the note. I'm going to give you 1 minute to write down.
What do you want, like yes or no?
No, you're going to write down the examples. Answer this question basically. Does this note give Principal Carter a reason and why? Because of what? You just said it. Give me one reason, Chloe.
Because it's a threat.
It's a threat. Mm-hmm. And what could happen as a result? What? Somebody could get hurt. Mm-hmm.
Why would somebody hurt someone because of the t-shirt delayed?
Well, think of silly reasons why you guys argue. Yeah, it's understandable if you think about it like that. You guys argue over the silliest things sometimes.
What I think though is, why would she sign her name?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, that just gives proof that person wrote
Yeah.
it to that other person.
I'm not scared. You think it would be anonymous, okay? Moving on. This might be a witness here. Okay. Listen carefully to Kyle's testimony. Okay, I'm going to turn it up. If it's too loud, let me know. What does Kyle, and keep this question in mind as we're watching the video, his testimony. What does Kyle's testimony show about whether discussions about music always turn into arguments? Yeah. I've practiced with this, so let's hope it works.
I remember when Ben was suspended. We usually hang out at lunch and talk about music, so I was really bored while he was gone that week.
Okay. Now that is Kyle's testimony. So anything he said in there, you want me to repeat it? Would it help if you heard it again? Okay. I'll repeat it, and you tell me, first of all, what your job is going to be, your task is going to be, you're going to tell me what column it goes in. Or not tell me, you're going to write what he says and what column you would write it in. Do you write it in that it does cause disruption or it does not cause disruption?
Story right, I remember.
You can't get off, it's easy to get off of topic, but this is practice. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 places where 10 pieces of evidence that we have to go through. Remember, all you're trying to figure out is, does it disrupt? If you forget and you get too tangled up in all of the he said, she said, look back up at the topic. The topic says evidence that band t-shirts cause disruption or they don't cause disruption. That's all you're answering. Okay? That's all it boils down to. It's easy to get caught up in the little bitty things. So let's rewatch Ben or Kyle, see what he says about it. Listen to what he has to say, and see whether what he says is against, does cause disruption, or that it does not cause disruption, the topic of t-shirts.
So we write what Kyle says here, or do we write like?
You don't have to say what he says, but let's just listen and then we'll talk about it. Let's hear it one more time.
I remember when Ben was suspended. We usually hang out at lunch and talk about music, so I was really bored while he was gone that week.
Okay, so his testimony was that him and Ben sat at lunch and talked about music. What column, first of all, would that go in?
That
Let's see. Blair.
The second column,
Then what does the second column say?
evidence that band t-shirts do not cause disruption.
Okay, so his testimony showed that the band t-shirts did not cause disruption, but what would we write there? Jay?
He said that they talked about it during lunch, which isn't during class, so it wouldn't be disrupting.
Well, it still could be because it's after, it says it's on, you remember with the school bus? There was a threatening on the school bus during class?
But
It's school property. You have to, in the wording, that's exactly right, you have to watch the wording, but what were you thinking?
it said that it could he was bored during lunch.
Bored during lunch? Okay, okay, all right.
How
Sarah?
they enjoy talking about it at lunch.
They enjoy talking about music at lunch is what I would write down. But Jay, to clarify, the rule does state it doesn't matter if it's during or before, if it causes disruption. Got it, boys? What'd you write down?
they enjoy talking about it.
Good, yep, that's it. No, okay, that's it. Here is our witness here. So it's gonna go. We're taking each. That's a good, guys, on your memo, if it makes, you can turn it sideways and see. Here, we took care of it. Exhibit A. We knew what column to go to, so there's two different columns here. There's the column of, does the evidence disrupt, or does the evidence not disrupt? Then you turn it sideways and you see the exhibits and the witnesses, okay? Does that make sense, everybody? Okay. All right, let's continue. This is Lisa Lennox, a former student. How does Lisa's testimony show that band t-shirts were not a problem? How does Bobby's reaction show that disagreements about music could be a problem? So let's listen to this. Y'all ready? Everybody paying attention? I can't make it bigger. So
Last
sorry.
year, I was in 8th grade at Hamilton Middle School.
And do you remember anything happening at lunchtime involving Bobby Duran and his liking of some music?
Last March, I was sitting across from Bobby Duran, and he started singing a tune from the Latin rock band Suave. I figured it was his favorite band because he was wearing a Suave t-shirt. And I like Suave's music too, but Bobby's singing is like nails on a chalkboard, so I told him to knock it off. And so did my friend sitting next to me. We were all laughing at his horrible singing.
And did Bobby react in any way?
Yeah, Bobby got all mad and said we don't know good music when we hear it. And some of his friends took his side, like telling him to keep singing. My friends and I just got up and moved to another table. And my English teacher, Mr. Teller, was standing near us and heard the whole thing, but he just ignored us.
Thank you. No further questions.
Hi, Lisa. Why don't you go ahead and tell the jury what it was that Bobby did that day that irritated you? Was it the t-shirt that he was wearing?
No, we were just bothered by his singing.
Great. No further questions, Your Honor.
What is the first thing that you noticed about this witness? Let's just go with Elizabeth. Okay, who was being mean? The girl? Okay, what else? Logan?
That she was a girl.
Okay, we did notice that. Luke?
That she got irritated.
Okay, that's enough. There was irritation there. Let me narrow it down a little bit. Evidence that band t-shirts did cause disruption during that witness. That witness's testimony, does it show us that it did cause disruption
No.
or it did not?
Did not.
I'll give you a hint. That right there, did you see where the lawyer, one lawyer used it for herself and the other lawyer used it for him? It's both. Very good. Remember the last rule we had, it was both. That's what makes a good lawyer too. Because a lawyer, like what I told you at the very beginning of this lesson, there are lawyers that have to defend criminals, people that murder, rob, things like that.
Really?
They have to present a case that makes that horrible person look good. It's their job, okay? So like we said in the beginning, you may not agree with it, but it's your job, whatever I give you, to defend it, okay? Whatever task I give you, whatever opinion I give you, you have to back it up and find the evidence for that, okay? So in this case, take Lisa's testimony. What evidence could we put down here that showed that the band t-shirts did cause disruption? What's something we could write in that box there from her testimony? Jolie.
That Ben got mad and his friends backed it up.
That's exactly right. He got mad. He got mad, but as a result, what was the beginning part of it? It was what t-shirt he was wearing, right? That was the root of the problem. The t-shirt he was wearing caused him to get angry. Okay? So that's what you need to write in that block. You writer?
So
Are you the writer? Okay.
So do cause disruption?
You're in Kyle. Go to Lisa.
I am in Lisa.
Okay, then write what I just said. Bobby got really angry. He got angry because the problem was the t-shirt in the beginning. Now, what about the evidence that does not cause disruption? What did she talk about? What was the main argument there? Gracie.
That it wasn't a t-shirt, it was just his saying. She said it sounded like nails on top.
Okay, so it wasn't the t-shirt that got everyone going, it was what? His singing that got everyone going. So I want you to write, the writer in your group, write that in the box that says evidence that does not cause disruption. The t-shirt does not cause disruption.
Right, that Bobby singing down here.
It was Bobby singing that caused the disturbance, not the t-shirt. It goes on both. Yeah, you have one where the t-shirt caused Bobby to get angry. And then the does not cause disruption was because it wasn't the t-shirt, it was his singing, right? Okay. Thumbs up if you're done. All right, good. Mrs. Jones, she's the math teacher. I'm gonna read these questions to you. Does Miss Jones describe anything that would give Principal Carter a reason to believe band t-shirts cause problems? In what ways does the argument cause disruption in school? And in what ways does the argument not cause disruption in school? So what do we realize by these two questions? How many pieces of evidence are we gonna have? We're gonna have one for each, right? One for does cause disruption and one for does not.
Miss Jones, what is your occupation?
I'm an 8th grade math teacher at Hamilton Middle School.
And do you remember last year an argument or other disruption involving t-shirts about music bands?
Objection, Your Honor. Disruption calls for a legal conclusion under the Tinker Standard.
Sustained.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Do you remember any arguments about t-shirts involving music bands?
Yes, once last February.
And would you describe to the jury what happened?
Well, it was a Friday, so my students are pretty wild anyway. And then Darren Bell and Sarah Cooper came into class talking really loudly about Darren's t-shirt.
What was pictured on Darren's t-shirt?
He had this large photo of a popular rapper named Meter Man, and above the photo were the words, "Keep the meter running." Well, I guess Darren feels that Meter Man's music and lyrics are brilliant, but Sarah disagreed and thought his music was repetitive and just didn't compare to her alternative rock bands.
And what effect did this have on your class?
They were so loud that of course the rest of the students got involved and they started taking sides and arguing about which band was better. But as soon as that bell rang, I told them they had to stop fighting and take their seats so I can begin the algebra lesson.
Thank you. No further questions.
Counsel for Mr. Brewer, do you have any questions for Ms. Jones?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Jones, when you asked the students to stop their discussion, did they respond quickly?
Well, yes.
So you were able to make it through your algebra lesson that day?
Yes, I got through the lesson.
Great. No further questions, Your Honor.
You are excused, Ms. Jones.
Okay. So let's discuss this one. Does Mrs. Jones describe anything that would give Principal Carter a reason to believe that it caused problems? Anything? Garrett?
Yes, because it caused a big argument.
Okay. It caused students to argue. What was the root of the argument?
What band was better than another?
Again, what band was better? So that's going to go in the does cause disruption column. But before you write, let's discuss something. Was there something that she said, that Ms. Jones said, that showed that there wasn't disruption?
Yes.
From our
Yes.
previous lessons, what can we determine? Anybody, I don't care.
That she got them to sit down quickly and continue with her algebra lesson.
She was able to continue her lesson. They weren't disruptive at a point that they did not listen to her. Because I'm a teacher, and I can tell you, every day, I have to come in and I have to say, okay guys, give me 5, or okay guys, it's time to settle down, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
that's a normal thing a teacher has to do anyway. So that would not cause disruption. So, this is going to be on your own. I want you guys as a group to give you 1 minute to write what you think, because we've done enough examples together. We've done all 4 together. This one, I want you to write down which one you think Mrs. Jones' evidence that she talked about causes disruption and what did not cause disruption from her testimony. 1 minute. Y'all can talk about it.
Well, the children quickly stopped after she told them to get quiet, and she got through her algebra lesson, so that shows evidence that the t-shirt was not disruptive.
Oh, was it messed up? Had a little, oh, thanks. Y'all take care of me. Yes, you are to do better. You're supposed to. You're writing in both? That's a hen. Okay. Everyone finished? Thumbs up if you're done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boys. You're not going to have something in every box. But what you have is right. All right, I think we can this is a 2-day lesson. I think we can get one more in before we need to finish for the day. This is the email. Turn your page to your exhibits. I've given you all a copy. The reader needs to have the exhibits in front of her. Him. Exhibit C. And what reader would like to read that to us? Who do we have read it last time? Chloe? Here, go ahead. Have you read? I thought you did. Jolie, go ahead. Follow along, no talking. Yes.
I made a quick run to the supply room between classes last hour. Almost didn't make it back to start class in time because I had to break up an argument between a bunch of kids in the hall. It was about bands again. A few of them were wearing t-shirts from that concert all the kids were talking about Monday morning. I almost sent them to the office because I thought a fight was about to break out, but then they started laughing, so I sent them to class and said, "Thought you'd want to know, Miss Miller."
Okay, so this is an email sent to the principal. First question asked us, does Miss Miller describe anything that would give Principal Carter a reason to believe that the band t-shirts were a disruption? Elizabeth?
Yes, because they had the fight.
Which caused what happened because as a result? They couldn't stop arguing, which made the teacher late. Right? Made the teacher almost late. Sorry, made the teacher late, almost late for class. Okay? So, they were arguing about the band shirt. What could we put in that column that it did cause disruption? What could you write there? Chloe?
Made the teacher late for her own classes.
Made the teacher late for her own class? Would you agree? Luke? What did she say?
She said that, like, the kids bursted out laughing.
No, she did not. We're talking about the email and how Principal Carter was given an email by Miss Miller. I'm going to give you guys 1 minute to dissect this email and put it in the 2 arguments. It does apply to both. Once again, this memo applies to both. We talked about the first one and how it does disrupt. But how could it not disrupt? I see what you're saying about the laughing, but that's, yeah, but as far as, yes, it would. Yes, it would.
That's what I was writing down.
On the other side.
Because they were arguing?
No.
Because they were arguing.
Did you say that aside? What does that say? You see, this is just showing gonna say that twice, see what I mean? He would be, yeah, that would have, you could just draw an arrow, save you time. Yeah, just draw an arrow and then an arrow back, that you got it mixed up, and I'll understand that. We already know that it does cause disruption. That's not what we're asking here. You're taking the memo. You need to have the memo in front of you. Where's the reader? Are you the reader? Okay. Go ahead and you need to tell him what he needs to write. As a discussion, as a whole discussion, but you can tell him what he needs to write. He can write it, okay? So what, huh? Okay. But that's what you're gonna do. You got it right now? Okay, write it down. You got it? Okay. Okay, there's only 2 minutes of class left. So when you have finished, yeah, come by fast, the reader. Okay, when you're finished, make sure your packet has both your names on it. Okay? Once you've finished with the memo, exhibit C, make sure it goes in the tray. One put in the tray, the other one fix the desk. There should be 2 of them back there. Once you put that back in the tray, come back to the desk. I have one thing I'd like to remind you before we get out for the day. Okay, as a reminder, tomorrow will not be here. I'll be at a workshop, but you'll have a sub. You're going to have a writing prompt tomorrow based on the bell work that we did today. Hold on. And then you're going to have a worksheet, a grammar worksheet about adverbs that you're going to complete. Okay? When you're finished with that, you get a book out and you better read. Okay? All right, y'all may go. Have a good day. Turn the lights on for me, Chloe, when you go by.